This is Conservative to America. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb, bringing you news commentary from the best perspective, the conservative perspective. Today, we're going to be discussing the 2026 midterms and what Republicans' chances are of keeping the Senate and the House. Okay, well, what's a better way to end the week, in my opinion? I mean, after President Trump kicks off the 2026 midterm campaign in Iowa. So let's go ahead and discuss the 2026 midterms. Let's start off with the Senate, alrighty? So, let's go ahead and fill in all these Republican safe holds. We'll start off in Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Whoops, I actually clicked Alabama whenever I said Mississippi. That doesn't matter, though. Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and Florida. Also, Iowa. Just one other one. Oh, Alaska. Okay, so with the safe seats that Republicans have, I'll tell you what. I'll move Texas. Nah, I'm going to keep it in safe. I don't really see a way that Republicans don't win in Texas. But anyways, so 51 Republican safe seats right now. 51 safe Republican seats. What does that mean? Republicans have secured a majority in the United States Senate. Let's go. Yeah, come on now. Anyways, looking at the map this year, I'd say there's probably like a 10%, maybe 20% chance, maybe 30 if it gets really bad for Republicans, that Democrats could win the Senate back. But it's highly unlikely. I mean, Republicans would have to lose a seat in a state that Trump won by more than 10 points, and that doesn't happen. That irregularly happens, if it ever happens at all, in all honesty, especially in the modern political climate that we have. So I'd say likely 51 Republican seats safe. Okay, now let's talk about safe Democrat seats. Oregon, okay, Colorado, New Mexico. I'm gonna put Colorado in safe. I don't put New Mexico in likely. Minnesota, since Amy Klobuchar is not running for re-election, even though there's some unrest up there, I'm telling you what, the state starts burning down again, that might make some people want to vote Republican. They're like, man, look at the Democrats here, okay? That might make, if Minneapolis and St. Paul, if they start burning down, or protesters go wild, which they already are, so I don't know. And then let's go, I'm actually going to put it in likely. Yeah, likely. Okay. Massachusetts, safe. Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, and Illinois, Virginia. Okay, so that leaves these as the battlegrounds, and I would even say Minnesota and New Mexico could get, if Minnesota and New Mexico, if it turns into a competitive race in those two states, New Jersey will only be won by maybe 5 to 10 points. So probably, maybe even less than 5. But anyways, so those are the seats up for, those are the safe seats, the likely and safe seats for each party. So let's look at North Carolina and Georgia, the Southern. Well, I'm going to fill out Maine. Maine is, so there's, I'm going to put Maine. Yeah, it's probably lean Republican. I got a feeling Susan Collins will probably win by 3 or 4 points. I think that she's going to win. New Hampshire, we'll put New Hampshire. We'll give Democrats a chance in New Hampshire. Okay, there you go. They probably will win it, in all honesty. Now, North Carolina, Georgia, and Michigan. In Michigan, it all depends on how the summer goes, on whether auto workers, because remember, it's blue-collar workers that win the Rust Belt for Republicans, and it's whether or not they feel like President Trump has helped them so far. And right now, a lot of people, they don't feel like he has. But we have to remember this. The Democrats keep calling blue wave, blue wave. Oh, it's going to be so bad. Republicans are going to get wiped out. Guess what? Approval ratings for Democrats right now are at an all-time low. They're lower than what they are. I think it's by 10 points. I was looking at the poll the other day. I think it's Democrats are unpopular by 10 more points than Republicans are. Republicans are more popular than Democrats, even though Republicans are unpopular nationally. That doesn't mean I'm bragging on Republicans, but that just means that tells you how bad Americans think the Democrat Party is. Because they put a buffoon in the White House for 4 years, who criminalized, who was going out and just tried to put everybody in jail who he saw as a political opponent, okay? Like what Joe Biden did to Donald Trump. And there's just an example of it for you. But Americans are kind of sick and tired of the Democrat Party after 4 years of a buffoon in the White House named Sleepy Joe Biden. But I'm not, Sleepy Joe Biden, okay, he's in retirement. He's not even the problem anymore. Republicans, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go right here. As a conservative, the conservative movement, we need to quit talking about Sleepy Joe Biden and focus on the now and the future, okay? The present and the future, not the past. So let's talk about the present and the future. We have these 3 races that will probably be the most contested of the 2026 midterms. You have Michigan, you have North Carolina, and you have Georgia. I'm going to put Michigan. Ooh. Right now, I'm going to put it in lean Democrat. Okay? North Carolina, there's some really bad poll numbers out right now in North Carolina. None of those sources I really take as trustable sources that don't have Democrat leans in them. I think it was like that Iowa poll before the 2024 presidential election. North Carolina, we do have these numbers. There are now more Republicans in the state than there are Democrats. Why is that? A lot of Democrats switched over and became Republicans. The question is, why is that? It's a rejection of Roy Cooper. It's a rejection of the Democratic Party nationally. So, with that being said, we're going to put North Carolina in... let's see. We're going to put North Carolina in really lean Republican. Okay? So, there you go. You have 53-46. That now gives us Georgia as the last seat that's kind of open. So, I'm going to leave Georgia as a toss-up. However the House goes, I think that's probably how Georgia's going to go. If the House goes Republican, Georgia will probably go Republican. If the House goes Democrat, Georgia will probably go Democrat. But there's also that chance that the House only goes Democrat by like 3 or 4 seats. I think Georgia could stay Republican. So it's kind of it's going back and forth. I think that the governor's race in Georgia, it'll probably be won by a Republican. But with all that being said, let's now talk about the House. And then that'll decide how I put Georgia. So, the House, of course, it is a midterm election year. Typically, the party in power typically loses the House. So, it looks like there is a bad moon on the rise for Republicans, even if the summer's good, because the 2020 census isn't really helping us right now. It was rigged. They screwed up counting illegals, I don't even want to talk about how bad the 2020 census was, in all honesty, but it was terrible, and it's causing Republicans. It'll probably be the reason, if it's close in the House and Democrats win, it'll probably be the reason why Republicans don't win the House. But I still see there's a good chance that Republicans could win the House this year, if the right things fall in line. If President Trump runs on law and order, he has to run on law and order, okay? Then President Trump, he has to run on law and order, how he's brought down crime rates, how he's deported people, okay? Then he has to run on, okay, these big tax cuts in the summer, if they start feeling. He doesn't need to run on, oh, well, the price of living is, okay. People, don't make up lies. You can't go out and sell people. Read The Art of the Deal, okay? He even talks about if you don't deliver, people eventually catch on, okay? If you go out and brag about things that are going on in America, people will catch on. You need to brag about record stock numbers, all this stuff, okay? That's what the Trump administration needs to brag about this year for the 2026 midterms. If they do it the right way, I think they could win the House. I think there's a chance Republicans win the House. If they don't, it's going to be bad news they're not going to do anything in the House for 2 years except investigations and impeachments on everyone they can get their hands on. Of course, none of that stuff will pass through the Senate or get signed by the president, but they're going to go there and they're going to cause a problem. in the House. We're going to do whatever thing they can do to get wild Democrat policy pushed through. And 2028, if a Democrat were to win 2028, man, are they going to come after Republicans hard. It is no longer really. Democrats seek to destroy this country. They do. The Democrat National Party, the National Convention, they seek to destroy this country. That's their number one objective. They want this country gone. Well, maybe not this country itself gone, but they want the ideas behind it. They want the Constitution gone. They want the Constitution thrown out the window. Barack Obama, whenever he won in 2008, he even said that they were going to fundamentally change America. Okay, that's what's going to happen. They will fundamentally change. They haven't done it yet. He didn't do it, but they will fundamentally change the United States of America if they are to win in 28. And in 2026 will be a starter for 28. I hope, though, that they don't win in 2028. I don't expect them to win in 2028. I don't expect them to win the Senate this year whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say right now the House is lean Democrat, but they're only going to win the House by 15 seats or less. 15 seats or less. Okay, somebody quote me on that. Somebody get back to me. No, I'm not betting anything, but somebody let me know in November. Somebody go back and watch this. If you're watching this video in November or whatever, like a few months down the road, let me know if I was right. Okay, send me an email. Put something in the comments. Pop this video back up. Anyways, so I think that it'll probably be, as it stands right now, maybe a win year for Democrats, but not by much. I think this could all change based on how the summer goes, based on how the economy goes. People always vote their pocketbooks. People always vote their pocketbooks. So it all depends on whether or not the Trump administration has delivered on the economy. Thank you very much. This is Conservative to America. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb. Have a wonderful weekend.